Guys, what is up? It is your favorite Northern Virginia realtor, Chris Colgan here with a market update for you. And the market here, I gotta tell you, is rapidly changing, but the numbers are gonna surprise you for sure. But before I get into it, always, you have to like and subscribe and comment for me to help me out on the YouTube algorithm. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere in the DC area, shoot me a text at the number below. But let's get right into the housing data here, which I love to go over with you guys. And this market has definitely been surprising. I'm sure you can tell with all your neighbors talking about it, and everybody talking about it on the news, that the housing market has definitely slowed down, but it's not as bad as you think it is. So I want to dive in deep a little bit more with you about that. One thing to keep in mind though, the one thing I've been really watching as we've gotten some presentations from Goldman Sachs at my company place here, is one thing that really shocked me was the government has just been waiting and waiting for inflation to cool down, and that's what's going to make them stop rising the interest rates, or raising the interest rates. You can tell I didn't pay attention in English class here. I went to Brentsville High School, by the way, in Oaksville. But one thing I will tell you is the government was really looking at these inflation numbers, and the latest numbers is it started to cool off, and it wasn't as bad as you think. So Wall Street, of course, went on a rally. That means most likely the Fed will stop these insane interest rates, and actually within like the next couple days, the rates went from 7 down to 6.25. And I feel like 6.25 to 5.5 range is a lot more manageable than like the 7% we were at. I think the biggest problem with the market is when you're talking like 3% up to 7% and almost a year, that causes massive changes, and that's why we saw the sticker shock that we did see. So let's get right into it and let's look at the true numbers so we can get a good idea on where the market is actually at here in our Washington, DC market. All right, so let's get into the actual numbers. So this data is, a lot of people ask me, where does this actually come from? This is from Bright MLS, who controls all the real estate listings and everything that we upload that you see that goes on Zillow, Redfin, and everything. So they certainly have all the key data. They break it down by area. So they'll do like Baltimore area, DC area, which would be Northern Virginia, parts of Maryland. They even go to Philly, Virginia Beach, all kinds of areas. So it's huge, all the way up to New Jersey. But let's get into just our market here in Washington, DC. So this is October of, so last month, so this is pretty recent data. It takes them a little bit to get this together, but let's talk about some of the key findings they had. So closed sales, right, are down 35% year over year. Now, I'll tell you this right now, Loudoun and Prince William and Fairfax are probably down closer to 45%. Medium sales price, now here's the shocking thing, and I tell people this all the time. 2.8% is up. So the prices are actually up 2.8%. What does that mean? That's a healthy market. When you're up 3% a year on real estate, that is a healthy market. So right now we're in a healthy market, but we may see these numbers decline a little bit, or break even would be what I would expect. Now, here's the thing. Medium days on the market went to 15, so it's up 6 days. So what do you mean? What does that mean? Houses are sitting longer, taking a little bit longer to sell. New pending sales are down 40%. So the actual houses going under contract, down 40%. One thing I've really seen here recently is a lot of realtors getting out of the business. What does that mean? There's 40% less houses to sell, right? New listings are down 27%. So that's what really shocks me on that, right? So that's why you're not seeing a huge price correction, is there's not a lot of houses hitting the market. People are only selling unless they have to. Divorce, a death in the family, job relocation, things like that. Active listings are only up 3% to 7,976, but month supply of the market is 1.42. I've said this many times on this channel. Under 6 months, you're in a seller's market. Above 6 months, you're in a buyer's market. Technically, we are still in a seller's market, but buyers don't get frustrated. You can still get a really good deal. Showings, though, one thing that really shocked me, showings are down 42%. Again, that just lines right up, right? 40%. So some of the other data they go on to, during the last 2 months of the year, home sales activity will continue to hit new lows. Mortgage rates will likely stay around 7%. Now, before they actually put this data out, after they put this data out, they had the new inflation numbers that came out, which now they're gonna be around like 6.25 to 6. Now they actually see home prices will fall from their peak level, but because of ranges so much during the pandemic, values will be slightly higher than they were 3 years ago. So they are predicting through this data that the prices will come down a little, but they're gonna be higher than they were 3 years ago before the pandemic started. We are basically back to a normal real estate market, not the crazy one where the government put in a ton of money into the economy. You can see here, right? Like, look how the closed sales date over range. Look how the prices were up. So the closed sales, were up so much during the pandemic when all that extra money was in there and inflation. Look how they've gone back down. But you can see through the years from 17 all the way up to right before the pandemic hit, and that was right when it started, how the closed sales went down. Again, right here, the medium sales price $550. You can tell there was a huge spike during the pandemic, and that kind of just has been leveling off. Medium days on the market, the highest point we were right before the pandemic started was about a month on the market, which, folks, some of these areas, when you get out to the Midwest, you're talking 6 months to a year. The DC market is still a very strong market. New pending sales. So again, going through some of these charts, we can just see the effect of all the pandemic, the money pumped in, and all the rate changes made. And then right here was when during the lockdowns, showings were up 150%. People were looking. So let's get into some local market stats and kind of see where each market changed, right? So you get into Alexandria, they're down 34%. Arlington's down 33%. What did I say earlier in the video? Fairfax is down almost 48%. Fairfax County, though, 38%. Fairfax City down 48%. Again, like Fairfax and all that, people were moving, like if you had a townhouse or a condo and you got that cheap rate and the housing prices went up, they really didn't have to move, but they wanted to upgrade and they saw a big opportunity, which makes sense. Frederick County, Maryland down 40%, Loudoun down 36%. Then you get into DC, which is down 28%. Prince George's County down 33%. Montgomery County 36%. That's not the prices, folks. That's actually like the closed sales. So we are on par here with the national average, which I'm seeing is 40%. When you get out to like an Austin, Texas, or maybe like San Diego, you're talking 50 to 60% down. So we're about normal on the national average. Now let's talk about price changing, because this is where things get really surprising. So look at that. Alexandria's prices are up 13%. You get into Arlington, they're up 5%. Fairfax City up 8%. Fairfax County 3%. And you get down to Loudoun, is up 7%. So the prices are still up. And then Washington, D.C. is down 7%. Again, with D.C. though, it's hard to tell. There's a big condo market there, and condos take a lot longer to sell. Now, one thing I will tell you, I feel like May and June were the peak of our market, and I've seen prices come down. So if you're looking to buy right now, don't be frustrated, because that means you're in a good time still, right? And the thing is, what I always tell people is you can always refinance later, or you can do that 2-1 buy down program as well. So you just get into some of this other data, and you can tell, a lot of it just really lines up, when you look at it. Like, let's look at Arlington, for example. New pendings down 35%. New listings down 38%, with a medium days on the market up 3 days. When you get into Fairfax County though, new pendings down 47%, with new listings down 33%, and days on market up 4 days. Now, one of the exceptions will be like a Loudoun County. Problem is, there's not much new construction being sold right now. The new construction market, they are far out. They're like in a 6 to 12 months supply inventory. Their houses are taking a lot longer to sell right now. Loudoun down 47%, new pendings, new listings down 28%, days on market up 8 days. When you get into DC, again, down 37%, new pendings, new listings are down 17%, medium days on the market 3 days. So honestly, guys, like, just looking at this, one other thing that I really look at before the end of the video is this month's supply. There's still a very low inventory. No one around here, except with the exception of about DC, is above 2 months of inventory, meaning if no houses hit the market, it would take 2 months for all the houses in DC to sell. When you get to Fairfax, 1.1 month, so about 5 weeks. So there's still a very low inventory. That's why you're not seeing an influx of signs everywhere. So what do they say here? As a result of mortgage rates, the buyer pool in Washington DC area has dwindled. However, supply is also very limited, which is why home prices in most parts of the region are still rising, albeit more slowly. Home prices will undoubtedly fall from their peaks as higher rates come in. However, Even if home prices fall 10% or even 15%, values in the region will still be higher than they were during the pandemic. So there you go, like showings you can tell are just down on an average of about like 40 to 50%. So you know what? Market here, still very strong. Have things slowed? Of course they have. They're down 40%, but new listings are also down 40%. So if you have any questions, I want to see you guys comment below. Text me if you have any real estate needs. You can always email me. I have a ton of YouTube viewers that email me all the time. And as always, I'll see you at the top or from the top.